Hello, amazing parents and caretakers, and welcome to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. I'm your family empowerment coach, Celia Kibler. I'm a mom of a blended family of 5 kids. I'm a grandma of 9 kids, an author, a teacher, a speaker, and a consultant with over 40 years of training and real-life parenting experience. I'm here to offer you practical, doable tips, strategies, and techniques that will pump up your parenting skills and create peace, love, and laughter throughout your family. In addition, I'll be interviewing some great humans that are on a mission to make your life a better, happier, and healthier life. So let's not waste any time and get started with the next episode of the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. Thanks for listening. So our next speaker is Kanan Sharma. Kanan is a college student. She is also the youngest member of the Day of Calm Board of Directors. She cares so much about this mission that she does so much work to enlighten others in their path. And Kanan, since I don't have your bio, and I apologize for that, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you tell a little bit more about yourself. I give you Kanan Sharma. Thank you for being here, honey.
Thank you, Celia. Thank you for introducing. And yes, I will briefly introduce myself here. I am Kanan Sharma, as you guys know. I am also a college student. I am pursuing my master's in public administration from Jamia Millia Islamia, that is a central university. I hail from India. And I am also an entrepreneur, and I've worked with Celia also. I've been honored to be with her and work with her in her projects. And I do social media management for various clients. And Celia's sister Maddie is also one of my very close clients. And I'm also, as you term it, a mandala expert. And I have drawn mandalas and that you would see very soon out. And yes, I'm a keen artist. My form of expression is art, and art brings me calm, which is the theme of this summit. And I think that's it for my introduction right here. And I would like to move on to the topic that we're talking about today, which is the future of peace is feminist. Yes, Celia.
The future of peace. Because like I told the college in India this morning, you're our future. College students are the future. That's the age where they're going to be the ones making the decisions. They're going to be the ones impacting the world. They are our future. And I'm so grateful for the determination you have to spread more calm, and that you're happy to work on this project with us. So, Kanan, let's start. The future of peace is feminist.
Thank you, Celia, and I'm honored, I'm obliged to be here. So, I'm going to present on the future of peace is feminist. And by this topic, there are a lot of clarifications that need to be made that will be made in the course of the discussion. But my main motto is to talk about creating peace for all and by all, which is the most important here. And this is going to be a discussion, not really a session or a workshop. So I would like my audience to be interactive, if possible. So I would like to start with a couple of questions. And my first one would be, raise your hands if you feel calm at a personal level right now. If you're on Zoom, you can raise your hand. If you're on YouTube, you can share your favorite emoji or a thumbs up. Yes, I see Arnali, I see Celia, I see Betty. Amazing. I'm glad that you're calm. And I'm also calm. I'm a little nervous for this talk, but I am overall calm. So that's great. And now my question is, do you think your surroundings and your state is calm right now? That is something to be thought about.
Yeah.
Currently, when we see, yes, That's great. So now that you were able to answer these questions, that you're calm at a personal level and your surroundings are calm, I would like to know what peace or what calm means to you. What are the factors that determine calmness for you? Because in this discussion, I would be sharing my perspective of calmness and peace. I would like to know first your perspective of peace and calmness and what does it mean to you, or anything that brings peace to you, your hobbies, or anything.
Well, since I have my microphone off, I'm going to contribute. Uh,
Sure.
a lot of what Matthew spoke about yesterday is being outdoors. Outdoors, like if I walk around outdoors, if I sit, by the water or the breeze, or I just, take a take a walk and sit down and think, it's always calming. It's always peaceful. If I'm just had too much inside, too much computer, outdoor I go, and it is a game changer.
Right, and it goes for me also. Along with walking, I love dancing as well. Hugging trees, gardening, walking by the ocean makes me calm. Amazing.
And Matthew
Amazing.
has a comment too. Do you see that? Do you want me to read it?
Yes, I see that. Future of peace is feminist for all and by all. Eternal feminine is well correlated to peaceful intent in these philosophies. Thank you so much, Matthew. Thank you so much. I hope you have fun and you gain some insights from this. I hope it would be a worthwhile discussion. Okay, so thank you so much for participating. And now I will move on to my talk and my perspective. And before I talk about the topic specifically, I would like to share a little backstory of why I chose this theme to discuss. So, almost a month ago, an incident happened that has stayed with me since. So, I was walking on the side of the road to meet my father, who was waiting for me at the other end, and someone suddenly started following me, and I thought that something was fishy. So I sped up, and just by the way, I walk very fast, so I thought I'll be able to reach my father uh, safe and sound and nothing would happen. So I was just walking very fast, but I couldn't. He caught up with my speed, and as soon as he reached beside me, he got hold of my tote bag. And as I said, I'm still shivering. So that's how terrorized I am with that incident. So he got hold of my tote bag and tried to snatch it from me. So at that moment, without any thought in my mind, I just put all my strength and pulled my bag towards me and did not let him steal it. And it went on for a few seconds, and I pulled it so hard that he fell down and ran away. At that moment, I was able to save myself and my bag. But since then, uh, since this episode, the moment I step outside my home, which is almost daily because I'm a regular college going student, I feel terrorized. I feel threatened every second. I'm suspicious of each and every person inside the college campus, and nowhere do I feel safe. From stepping outside my home to stepping inside my campus, this journey of around 2.5 hours, I am constantly in my fight and flight mode. So, and it is very disheartening for me to say that this is not just about me and this is not just my story. It is the story of perhaps every girl, every woman in some or the other way, in, in every place of this world, wherever you look, in households, in workplaces, in public areas, literally everywhere. Women are in a constant threat of being exploited, assaulted, and whatnot. And I'm very sorry if you can relate to this because I feel for you. I've been there and I know how this feels. And it is even disheartening that we say that it is normal for us to feel threatened. It is normal that it is not safe for women around here. I don't think we should be calling this normal. This is not the kind of normal we want to live in, is it? So, as we are talking about building a calmer and a peaceful world in this summit, not talking about peace for women would be a blunder, I suppose. So that is why I chose this topic. And the world cannot be calm if almost half of the world's population is not calm. So I will be talking about this topic, popularly termed as feminist peace, and I would like to make it very clear here that feminist peace is not just about women. And even feminism is not just about women's rights. Feminism implies equality and it is intersectional, which means it includes in itself all genders, classes, castes, races, and everything. And basically, the main motto of feminism as an ideology, as um, as an ideology, as a concept, is to foster equality and to eradicate inequalities. And feminist peace seeks to dismantle entrenched systems of oppression and achieve a comprehensive, just, and sustainable peace by addressing the root cause of violence and inequality, including gender based violence, and ensuring women's full participation in peace processes. And we're going to specifically dive deeper into this theme of women's participation in peace processes. And feminist peace as a concept is founded on an inclusive and intersectional concept of humanity and peaceful existence for all. Wherever you read about feminist peace, you will definitely find this term intersectional concept, which is very important for a comprehensive understanding because intersectional highlights the fact that feminist peace is about bringing equality in all the sections and bringing peace for all the sections, not just men or women. And according to Helen Kezinova, who is a feminist peace activist and a women human rights defender from Nigeria and executive director at the Women's International Peace Center, feminist peace is a transformative peace that delivers on gender equality. And we're going to talk about this transformation today. So before that, I have a short 2 minutes video for you all, which is a letter to the United Nations. And it has a lot of languages, different languages, but it also has English subtitles. So I hope it's helpful. And here it is. Just a second, we'll fix the sound.
We have no sound on the palm.
Yes, he's fixing it in just a few seconds. Really sorry for that. Zoom is having some technical problems with sharing sounds. Thank you so much, Ernely, for that message. It really means a lot. Sharing sound.
Dear member states of the United Nations,
在2020年的国际和平日，你们联合国的会员们发表了一个宣言来纪念联合国75周年庆。
ඔබ මෙන්ම ඔබගේ මුතුන් මිත්තන් දශක ගණනාවකට පෙරදුන් පොරොන්දු ඉටු කර නැති බවද අපේ අවධානයෙන් බැහැර වී නැති බව කිව යුතුය.
Più di un secolo fa le nostre sorelle richiesero due semplici cose, uguaglianza e pace. Invece dovettero affrontare 2 guerre mondiali prima che fossero ascoltate dai vostri padri.
和平、平等與發展構成咗聯合國基礎憲章。我哋希望同你合作以實現呢個目標，但係我哋往往習慣咗保持沉默。
silenced by the violence you have continued to use, condoned, or tolerated to feed your desires for political, economic, and social power that permeates and rips apart our environment, our communities, our homes. 20 yıl önce atalarınızın vaatlerini hatırladığınızı düşündük. Güvenlik Konseyi 1325 numaralı kararını alırken bizi duydunuz sandık.
Asi zviro kwazvo pane makore 20 muchibvisa sarudzo yerunyararo nekuchengetedzwa kwevanhukadzi muchikurudzira zvido zvenyu kunyanya.
Kutai Sheshanti. Kutai
أين هذه المساواة؟
Where is that peace? Where is that equality?
Where is that peace? Where is that equality? So that is a big question. And this letter to United Nations was basically aimed at questioning the fact that United Nations was formed on the main idea of bringing about peace and calm, and still women, a huge section, almost half of the world is women, are still feeling unsafe, and the idea of women's security is not even traced in the peace agreements or in the discussions of international organizations. And United Nations Security Council also had a resolution for women's peace and security, WPS that we call, but still it was molded for vested interests. So it is very sad, and this letter to United Nations was given by a London School of Economics. You can find it on their page also. Now, a very important part of feminist peace is a call against militarization of security. Now, the problem with militarization of security is that it reflects a patriarchal mindset that equates strength with aggression and protection with armed dominance. From a feminist perspective, I would say that this approach deepens cycles of violence, marginalizes voices of women and communities, and neglects the root causes of insecurity, such as inequality, poverty, and social injustice. So rather than creating lasting peace, militarized security reinforces fear and exclusion. Feminist peace advocates, on the other hand, for human-centric, inclusive models that prioritize dialogue, justice, and healing over force. True security, it is very important to understand that it is not built through weapons, but through relationships, equity, and care. These values are often ignored in traditional militarized frameworks of peace. And now that we talk about frameworks of peace and peace buildings, I have a question, and you may take your time and think about it, and you can take your sweet time. I will not ask you to answer it just right here because it is a question that needs a lot of thought. So how do you visualize the signing of peace treaties, or what kind of image builds up in your mind when you think about the negotiation tables of peace building? You can take a moment, think about it, visualize, imagine. If you are in a hall of United Nations and you're seeing some conference happening or some peace treaty being signed, what kind of people do you see there? And my only question to you is, when you visualize that, are there all men on that table? And if yes, I see Ernely nodding. So if yes, this is how much we have normalized the exclusion of women from negotiation or leadership roles, as I would say. And I'm not just making up this. I'm not even exaggerating. I have concrete statistical data for this matter. Between 1946 and today, only 26 women have served as permanent representatives on the United Nations Security Council, and only 8% of all permanent representatives from 1990 to 2022. And there is a body called Women Civil Society Briefers. I have this data here. Women civil society briefers basically play a crucial role in informing the United Nations Security Council about the impact of conflicts and security issues on women and girls, advocating for their inclusion in peace processes and highlighting the barriers they face. But the participation of women civil society briefers has declined in recent years, with a 27% decrease in 2023 compared to 2021. As representatives of affected communities and as individuals who bring unique expertise and raise issues that may otherwise be overlooked, it is very important that women's civil society be regularly invited to brief the Security Council on all topics and on its agenda. And it is also important that their perspectives and recommendations meaningfully inform the Security Council's work. And why am I stressing it so much? It is because it is very basic understanding that if you're trying to solve a problem, you want to know the root cause of the problem. And if you're making a decision and if you're finding a conflict, a resolution to a conflict, you want to know that people being affected with that decision are actually being benefited by that decision. What is the point of resolving conflicts when you're not benefiting the affected communities? So if United Nations is taking a decision or is making a peace treaty, and if women's problems are not heard, then what is the point of making it? It is a very basic idea, and if you understand that when the problems of the aggrieved can be understood only when they are heard. You cannot assume that this might be the problem and give resolutions to the same. You can also look at more such data in the reports of Working Group on Women, Peace and Security if you wish to. And it has shared disheartening statistics of the minimal participation of Palestinian women during the raging conflict, of Afghan women during the Taliban's oppressive rule, and so on and so forth. And the data provided by UN Women also shows an increase in the number of women, but it also highlights how there have been limitations and there is not a full inclusion of women the way it should be. According to studies from UN Women, when women are at peace process table, it is more likely to be sustainable for up to 2 years and by 20%, and for up to 15 years by 35%. And despite that statistic, less than 4% of peace signatures are women, and less than 10% of negotiators are women. And if this doesn't convince you, if you're inspired by global leaders, I have statements from them too. Kofi Annan, who was the former Secretary General of United Nations, said that the single most important ingredient to peace building is women's participation. Former US President Jimmy Carter also said that the more gender equity in a country, the less likely it is to go to war. And while I'm advocating inclusion of women at peace negotiation tables and peace processes, I want to make myself very clear that I'm not saying let's replace men with women, because that is a pseudo-feminist idea. Not at all. I am just calling to bring people together to bring about positive change. And if you understand that, you will be with me on the same page. So how do we do that? How do we bring women to the negotiation tables? Well, the good news is that there is no lack in the world of women in the world, and there are plenty of emerging leaders. Look here. There are perhaps more than half of women audience and speakers, and along with the founder herself, not to mention Celia, because of whom we are here. So there is no lack of emerging leaders who can spread calm, who can spread peace in the world. So now the only question left to answer is, do we have the courage to cultivate and unleash this transformative power of feminist peace? And now I would like to talk about the final vision of feminist champions of peace and what steps can be taken to achieve it. And through this discussion, if you've thought of something that should be done to bring about feminist peace, that is very important to be addressed to bring about feminist peace, you can add this to the list. I welcome all your suggestions and ideas because this is not an exhaustive list. Feminist peace is about equality and it is about holistic equality. So we definitely need to look at a lot of factors here. So, what all can bring about the kind of peace we are looking for? Number one is moving from the militarized conceptions of security towards embracing human security. And this can be done by realizing universal and total disarmament at international, national, local, and personal levels. This was tried at the time of World Wars, but we still can't see it happening. So I think we need to have an active effort of disarmament. Also, we need to guarantee equality in fact, not just in paper, because there's no point of having all the laws and all the resolutions if we don't see equality in our surroundings, in our own lives. Eradicating patriarchy, misogyny, colonial domination, oppression, totalitarianism, violence, and all forms of exploitation is also very, very important to ensure feminist peace. Removing economic insecurity that denies personal and community peace, and also most important, because we're not living in utopia, we're not living in an ideal society, guaranteeing access to and delivery of justice of all forms, be it political, social, economic, or environmental for that matter. So it is very important. Recognizing right to peace. Right to peace is not just a made up concept. It has been recognized by the Maputo Protocol, which is officially known as the Protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the Rights of Women in Africa, which is a comprehensive human rights instrument adopted by African Union in 2003, guaranteeing extensive rights for women and girls in Africa, including political participation, equality, and reproductive health. We also have United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 of the year 2000 at our disposal. But as I mentioned before, it is facing challenges and it has not yet translated this norm to operational levels. So it is time, I would like to say, it will be my time for today for this talk. I'll be ending my discussion on this topic, and I would like to open it for comments and questions by just saying that it's time we stop fighting fire with fire and start fighting fire with water. And just one last thing, that imagine after 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, if your kids come up and ask you, what did you do to minimize the conflict or resolve the conflict, or what did you do to bring peace in the world when wars were happening? You should have an answer. And what that answer would be, you need to think about that. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you resonated with it, and I hope that you're with me on the same page and you'll work actively to bring feminist peace and peace for all. Peace for all and by all. Thank you so much, everyone. And happy International Day of Calm.
Thank you, Kanan. What an enlightening presentation. Thank you for that. You do have a few comments. Can you see them?
Yes, sure.
From Ernalee and from Matthew. Do you see them?
Just a second. Ernalee says, was that some of your artwork? No, that video was made by London School of Economics. But yes, I do make videos also. Interesting shift of mindset. Question: if self-identified males need compassion and respect for women, feminine peace, how can a self-identify CIS male embrace the concept of feminine peace without condensation nor appropriation? Um, I would like to know a little more about that question. I think you can unmute yourself also. I did not understand exactly what you're trying to ask.
Who asked that question?
Matthew.
Oh, Matthew. Oh, Matthew is driving. So
Oh,
he
okay.
also wrote, women at the negotiation table result in better outcomes. Women historically suffer most when negotiations fail or during war. Therefore, it seems logical feminine presence in peace negotiations will always lean toward peaceful resolution. This opens many interesting historic reflections. Imagine if there were women at the table during the Treaty of Versailles. Yes,
That
imagine
is
that.
that is very right, Matthew, and that is what the point is, that if we include the sections of society, just imagine what kind of peace we can build. We'll not, uh, you know, when we are trying to suppress a conflict, it comes up. It's like a spring. It will come back. It will definitely come back. But when we try to integrate views and not just dominate or compromise on it, I think we can bring about real peace, sustainable peace that will not spring up conflicts again, at least of the same kind. And we need more initiatives to support women's higher education and ability to create women-run businesses. Definitely, this is a great idea, and we really need to educate women as well as not just women. I would say holistic education so that they understand women's rights as well, because here living in India, I still hear patriarchal thoughts, and I still hear comments saying that women should not be educated. They become egoistic. I mean, if that is true, I don't think so. You're being egoistic.
And I
So
think that brings us to, honestly, Canon, which so many things go back to this, is the way children are parented and the roles that we put on our children, that we designate, okay, guys are tough and and they stand up and, that whole machismo, persona. And girls, you're compassionate, you take care of the home, and we are naturally nurturing. And that is and when that is basically it, we draw a line, here's you, and many children are brought up this way, then they don't feel empowered. They don't feel like they can stand up for themselves. This is a funny way to look at it, but I always have funny ways to look at it. But look at bathrooms. Look at bathrooms in the world and in restaurants. Women go to the bathroom more. So that's a fact. Men don't go as much. But yet they will create a bathroom for women that has one stall in it in a big restaurant. Was that designed by a woman? No, no woman would put one bathroom stall in a restaurant. And it's even down to the basics of humanity that we are not considered valuable or somebody whose opinion needs to be heard. And I think that's the thing. When you go into peace negotiations, when you go into creating peaceful structures, we are the nurturing ones. We are the compassionate ones. And I'm not saying men are not, but we more so are naturally, biologically more compassionate and nurturing. I don't think God made any mistake in giving us the ability to give birth. There is a reason that happened. So I wanted to bring that out.
I
Arnold has
totally.
her hand open. Or open, not, well, it is open. See, closed, open. Arnold,
Hi there.
or sorry, Kanan, do you want to reply to what I just said? And then we can have.
Yes, no worries. I just wanted to say that I totally agree with you, Celia. And that's the point, that feminism seeps into every little detail of our life. And if we take it, if we absorb it completely, we will see the kind of differences that are there in the society. And then we'll be able to realize why exactly women of the 1960s started to fight for their rights, because it was very important. I'm very thankful to them. Thanks for giving us this a whole concept of feminism. And yes, and you can
And I
share.
also see after my comment that Matthew has a great comment there for you as well. I just wanted to say that with our world being the way it is, I mean, we have more phytochemicals and plastics and various things in our toxins in our world than we've ever had before, which also means that the males that are being born now are what's considered to be less male than what they would have been, say, 100 years ago, right? And a lot of people have looked at this and went, this is a bad thing, you know, birth rates are going down, da, 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 da. And yes, of course, that's a concern ultimately down the road for us as a planet. But what I also think it does is it gives the opportunity for the males in our world, for the men in our world, however they identify, to have more of those, less testosterone and more of those gentler qualities. And I just wanted also to say, I know lots of men, you know, a man who's older than I am, and I'm kind of as old as dirt. Certainly not when dinosaurs walked
My
the earth.
sister.
I'm actually a little bit older, I think, than Celia. But we, you know, I have a dear friend, my husband and I have a dear friend, and he's got a wonderful, wonderful, loving, caregiving, gentle, beautiful side to him as well. Yes, he's a strong male, but he also has this. So I think it's that balance that we need in the world, right? We need that within all of us. As women, we need also to have that strong, brave side that is willing to stand up when we see something that's wrong, whether it's a woman being treated poorly or a man or a child being treated poorly. Say, you know, this isn't acceptable. We can't do this. You can't do this. But we also need to allow that within our men, and like you have said, Celia, not expect them to be the ones that rush in to save us. You know, I get so tired of these movies on shows on TV, and it's like, oh, please, just not another woman who needs to be saved. Where
Right.
are the strong role models for our young women coming up? So
Exactly.
that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Arnalee.
I
Kanan, did
totally
you want to reply? And then you can reply to Matthew's comment. Do you see it?
Yes, sure. So, Arnali, yes, I totally, completely, entirely agree with you. And I was studying feminism during my graduation. I had it as a subject, and I'm very glad that I chose that subject, because we studied about gender roles, that how we give roles and categorize roles into genders, and how compassion is for women, and being strong and courageous and brave and violent for men. And it is very right when people say that patriarchy is not good for men as well, because it puts so much pressure on men to be certain way, and also to women. That is needless to say. But when we talk about feminism, it is not at all about men hating, or it is not at all about taking power from men. It is about giving them also the ease of coming out of that one box of roles and classifications, and just be what they really are, be how they are born, and be what they do, what they think is right, and not just do what society tells them to. So I think that is very important, and I totally agree with you and Celia. And the question is, I, as raised, cultured, and conditioned to be misogynistic, sexist, and objectify women, I had to and continue to unlearn that conditioning. Not proud of it, but I face my demons. Any advice for men on recognizing their interest bias versus feminine peace? Okay, I applaud you for accepting that those are demons, and for accepting that the kind of feelings you have, or the kind of conditioning you were brought to, was wrong. And that is the first step of changing. That is the first step of change, acceptance that something is wrong. Then only we can correct it. And the only advice I want to give you is, now that you know it is wrong, just try to change it, and try to look at every little bit of your life, and every little act you do and you perform, and every little thing you say, because there are so many things online, and in even in political campaigns, and in advertisements, and wherever you see, there are so many little things that are sexist, but we don't realize it because that's how normalized we have made it. So every little thing you say should, you should be very considerate about it, you should be very thoughtful about it, and if you say something wrong, you should know that you're going to correct it, not say it again. Or if you are thinking something wrong, you know that it is wrong, so you need to stop thinking it and condition your mind again now. And I know it is difficult to condition it when you're grown up, but it is not impossible. And you can expose as you can, yourself to equality, ideas of equality. You can watch stuff online that is about equality, because there are so many people talking about equality that will reinforce that idea in your mind, and probably then you would be able to minimize your old conditioning thoughts. So these are my advices, and I think Celia and Ernely and others here are more experienced and more mature to give advices. So definitely, I welcome their advices as well. From me, as a girl, as a woman, these are my advices, and I hope this helps. Thank you.
This does help, Kanan, and don't what's the word? Don't minimalize your intelligence and your ability to share your thoughts and opinions and encouragement, because there is no age limit for that. And I'm so proud of you being able to present this like you did, so fairly, so justly, and calmly, because we're all calm. And I think you have a question. I'm not sure. Keith is our next speaker, and I'm not sure he's in the building, so to speak. You have a question, Rushi? Is that how you pronounce it? I think with education, we need to work on socialization, isn't it? Did you see that question?
I don't
It's in
have
the
it.
question and answer department. There's a question and answer department.
Just a second. Yeah. I think with education, we need to work on socialization, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, definitely. I think it was when we were talking about education, more education for women as well as for everyone. Yes, socialization is also very important. Also, I think it is very important to normalize having conversations among genders and among sexes, because if we isolate the people and the genders, women only around women and men only around men, then they get isolated with those feelings also that they have, and they don't tend to understand what exactly is the reality. Then they make up their assumptions, and then all in their mind, thinking stuff that might not even be true. So socialization is very important, I agree. And yeah, and how we learn stuff, how we condition ourselves, that is also very important. And noting every minute detail of what is around us, and trying to foster equality in every little detail of our life.
Kanan, thank you. I think this conversation could go on for another half hour, but
Exactly.
Keith is in the building, and by building I mean glass room, Zoom room, mysterious this. And I thank you very much for being here. I thank you for enlightening us on this subject and opening it up to very practical solutions and discussion. And it is much needed in this world. And thank you, Kanan. We appreciate you. And
Thank
thank you
so
for
much.
spreading the joy of calm to all your friends and all your colleges and all the work that you do. Very
Thank you
grateful.
so much for having me. I'm honored to be here, and I hope that the Day of Calm Summit goes very well, and I hope that we spread more and more calm around the world. Good topic. Shukriya, Kanan. Namaste. Namaste, Matthew. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zar, also. Thank you, Ernely, for being very interactive. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And that's my time. Thank you so much. Let's go on with the summit. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it with a friend and leave us a review that will help others. Wonder why kids don't come with a manual? Well, wonder no more, because I wrote you one, and it's just won a wonderful Mom's Choice Award. Go to celiasbooks.com and buy your copy of Raising Happy Toddlers, as well as my children's books. I appreciate you being part of my mission to help 10 million parents stop yelling at their kids. Please be intentional and hug on those kids of yours. See you at the next episode.